Hey everyone, I'm Jack Ferdman, and this is Rewatching Oscars Movie Minute. It's Wild Wednesday, and today's film is the 1978 sci-fi horror film, The Swarm. One Oscar-nominated film, let's go. Now, The Swarm was directed by Irwin Allen and stars Michael Caine, Katharine Ross, Richard Widmark, Richard Chamberlain, and Olivia De Havilland. Now, every era has its defining genre, and for the 1970s, it was the disaster film. From the Poseidon adventure to towering Inferno, Irwin Allen became known as the Master of Disaster. Unfortunately, by the time he got to The Swarm, it seemed like the master had lost his touch, or maybe even his mind. This is a film so unbelievably misguided that it's almost impressive in its sheer wrongness. The plot, such as it is, revolves around a massive swarm of killer bees invading Texas. The military scrambles to contain the threat, while scientist Dr. Bradford Crane, played by Michael Caine, attempts to understand and stop the onslaught before it destroys everything in its path. Along the way, we meet a parade of characters, scientists, generals, civilians, and random townspeople, all of whom exist only to overact and die in increasingly ridiculous ways. Now, on paper, The Swarm should have been at least entertaining. Look at this cast. Caine, Ross, Widmark, Chamberlain, Grant, Johnson, Ferrer, Duke, McMurray, Pickens, and even Henry Fonda. It's like the entire Hollywood phone book showed up for this one. Sadly, not one of them can save this cinematic train wreck. It's as if Allen thought star power alone could mask the chaos. But instead, it just highlights how everyone looks utterly lost. The special effects? Dreadful. The script? Laughably bad. The tone? Confused beyond repair. Everything that's supposed to be terrifying ends up unintentionally hilarious. The bees, which should have been menacing, are somehow the least scary part of the film. Meanwhile, the acting oscillates between wooden and hysterical, and Caine, God bless him, seems to be the only one giving it an honest try. Now, what really sinks The Swarm is that it's not just bad, it's boring. At a mind-numbing 2 hours and 15 minutes, it drags on endlessly, meandering into absurd subplots that have no business even being there. Allen even tries to add gravitas with slow-moving shots and sweeping disaster sequences. But instead of cinematic tension, we get unintentional comedy. To say this movie killed the 1970s disaster craze isn't hyperbole. It's the rusty nail in its coffin. Plan 9 from Outer Space seems like Citizen Kane next to this monstrosity. It's a film so disastrous, it's almost poetic. A cautionary tale of excess, ego, and bees. If Irwin Allen's earlier hits define spectacle, The Swarm defines what happens when spectacle loses its soul. It's a disaster film that's an actual disaster. The Swarm is not worth of, even being considered of being a B movie. That's why I'm giving The Swarm an F. Yep. The Swarm was nominated for only one Academy Award, and that was for Best Costume Design. And thank goodness it didn't win. Join me again tomorrow for another Oscar-nominated film right here on Rewatching Oscars Movie Minute. Because if the Academy took notice, it's worth a rewatch.